Smart people have a strange habit. Most don't even notice it, but once you see it, you'll realize it's the reason they're always 10 steps ahead. It's not luck, it's psychological warfare. They don't speak first, they don't rush, they observe. While others scramble to be heard, the intelligent ones sit in stillness, eyes scanning, mind calculating, every gesture, every hesitation, every misplaced word noticed. They're not just listening to what's said, they're decoding what's hidden underneath. Silence, to them, is not emptiness, it's data. The world thinks silence is weakness. But in psychology, silence is dominance. Those who can stay quiet when the room demands noise hold the real control. Because silence unsettles people, it forces others to fill it. And in their rush to escape the quiet, they reveal themselves. Intelligent people know this instinctively. They know the one who talks less learns more. Observation is their shield, their weapon. They study behavior the way a hunter studies movement in the dark. The nervous laugh, the quick glance, the tightening jaw. Each detail maps a truth words try to hide. They catch what others miss. The manipulation behind kindness, the insecurity behind arrogance, the fear beneath confidence. Their mind builds patterns out of chaos. Most people react. Smart people record. They let others expose their patterns first. They don't interrupt. They don't argue. They just wait. And in waiting they win. Because every impulsive action reveals intent. Every emotional outburst is a confession. They let people talk themselves into clarity or ruin. This kind of observation isn't passive. It's control disguised as calm. It's emotional intelligence wrapped in detachment. Psychologists call it strategic silence, a tool that reveals how power works. Because those who speak less often hold more authority. Their silence forces people to wonder what they're thinking. That curiosity builds tension. Tension becomes influence. The intelligent don't crave validation, they crave understanding. They don't perform, they analyze. They find comfort in watching, not being watched. It's not that they're shy. It's that they know where energy belongs, on perception, not performance. While others talk themselves into exhaustion, they gather truths like currency. And when they finally speak, it cuts through the noise like a blade. Short, calm, precise. Their words land harder because they're rare. People remember them because they feel intentional. Measured speech feels powerful because it is. In psychology, this is called cognitive restraint. The ability to hold back impulse for strategic effect. Intelligent people don't just observe others, they observe themselves. They track their own thoughts, their tone, their reactions. They know self-awareness is the highest form of intelligence, and through that awareness, they learn how to read every room. How to say less, yet understand more. They're not trying to win arguments, they're trying to win information. Every pause is a test, every silence is a mirror. They make people reveal their truth without ever asking a question. It's the psychology of power without aggression, influence without display. What most mistake for indifference is actually precision. They conserve words the way a surgeon conserves movement, only when necessary, never wasted. The quiet mind doesn't need noise to prove intelligence. It already knows. So they stay silent, watching, learning, waiting. Because silence isn't emptiness. It's awareness sharpened into power. Most people react, instantly, loudly. They get pulled by emotion like a tide they can't control. But intelligent minds don't move that way. They pause, they detach, they step outside their feelings and watch them like a scientist studying a storm from behind glass. It's not coldness, it's control. They don't let emotion decide for them. They let emotion reveal what's real. Because feelings are data too. Anger shows where pride lives. Jealousy exposes insecurity. Fear uncovers desire. Most people drown in that information. Smart people decode it. They don't fight emotions, they dissect them. Psychology calls it affective detachment, the ability to separate what you feel from what you choose. It's not easy. It takes discipline. It means watching yourself think, watching yourself react, and choosing not to flinch. While others lash out, the intelligent wait. They let silence swallow the chaos, and in that space, they see what others can't, the truth behind the noise. Detachment gives them clarity. Clarity gives them power. When you're not lost in emotion, you start to see people as they are, not as they pretend to be. You see motives, not words. You sense manipulation, not kindness. The emotionally detached are often accused of being heartless. But that's only because they refuse to be fooled by performance. They can love deeply, but they never let love blind them. They know emotion clouds perception. Anger blurs judgment. Excitement distorts reality. Fear breeds illusion. So they keep their distance, not to escape life, but to see it accurately. Emotional detachment is not numbness, it's awareness sharpened by restraint. They feel everything, but they choose nothing until the truth is clear. This detachment unsettles people, because most depend on emotional reaction to connect, to persuade, to manipulate. When it doesn't work on someone, they panic. The intelligent become unpredictable. Their calm feels unnatural. Their quiet feels dangerous. People sense power in that stillness. And they're right. Because whoever controls emotion controls outcome. Detachment isn't about ignoring pain, it's about refusing to become it. Intelligent people process quietly. They take the hit, breathe, and then observe what it reveals about themselves. They study their triggers. They question their instincts. They grow from the very things that destroy others. That's why they evolve faster. Pain refines them instead of defining them. They don't need to prove how they feel. They don't need to explain. They're calm. They understand that emotional control is a form of self-respect. In psychology, it's called internal regulation, the ability to manage yourself without external validation. It's the trait that separates stability from chaos. They know the mind is a stage. Thoughts perform, emotions shout. But the observer, the real self, stays in the dark, silent, watching. That's where intelligence lives. In the space between reaction and response. The pause where wisdom hides. The moment where clarity whispers the truth no one else hears. They aren't heartless. They're disciplined. They aren't distant. They're deliberate. They don't detach to avoid life. They detach to understand it. They've learned that emotions are tools, not masters. And whoever learns to hold that truth stops being controlled. So they stay calm, they stay aware, they stay quiet, because the smartest minds don't feel less. They just refuse to drown. Curiosity destroys the ordinary mind, but it feeds the intelligent one. Most people stop asking questions when the answers get uncomfortable. The smart ones don't. They keep digging, past the surface, past comfort, past illusion. Their curiosity isn't light. It's heavy, obsessive, almost dangerous. They want to know why people lie, why they change, why they pretend, why they hurt the ones they love. It's not gossip they seek, it's truth. And truth, as they learn, is rarely pretty. It's raw, it's dark, it exposes everything the world tries to hide. That's why their curiosity isolates them. They ask questions others avoid. They notice what others ignore. Psychology calls this cognitive curiosity, a mental hunger that never ends. It's the mind's version of obsession. The more they learn, the deeper the void grows, because every answer opens a new question. And the cycle repeats. Their thoughts spiral into patterns others can't see. What feels like overthinking to most is exploration to them. They get lost in concepts that don't have easy exits. They read between words. They sense what's missing. They stay up late connecting invisible dots. And while others chase entertainment, they chase understanding. Curiosity becomes their drug. It floods their brain with dopamine, the same chemical that fuels addiction. But instead of craving pleasure, they crave clarity. They can't accept things as they appear. They question motives, patterns, systems, even themselves. It's not rebellion, it's perception sharpened to a blade. Curiosity gives them insight, but it also gives them weight, because seeing too much changes you. Once you've noticed the machinery behind human behavior, you can't unsee it. You stop believing in coincidence. You start recognizing design. Their curiosity doesn't stop at knowledge, it turns inward. They dissect their own mind. Why they think the way they do, why they react the way they do. They tear down their identity piece by piece, only to rebuild it stronger. Self-analysis becomes their ritual. Growth becomes their obsession. But growth is painful. It costs comfort, simplicity, and sometimes peace. They learn that truth and comfort rarely coexist. The more they know, the lonelier it feels. Because deep understanding separates. When you see through the masks people wear, you can't join the illusion anymore. You start moving differently, speaking less, thinking more. The world feels transparent, and transparency is cold. Curiosity gives them power, but it also gives them distance. They see patterns of manipulation before they unfold. They predict reactions before they happen. They understand people's triggers, fears, and desires better than those people do themselves. It's a form of psychological X-ray vision. But it's not always pleasant. Knowing too much can make connection feel impossible. Still, they can't turn it off. Curiosity is their nature. It's not a choice, it's compulsion. A restless search for truth, even when it hurts, even when it breaks them. They'd rather face the darkness of understanding than the comfort of ignorance. That's what separates them. They don't fear the unknown, they chase it. And that's what makes them different. Their curiosity isn't innocent, it's relentless, sharp, consuming. It doesn't just seek knowledge, it devours illusion. Because for them, curiosity isn't just a trait, it's a fire, and it never dies. Most people fear being alone, they panic in silence. They crave constant connection, noise, distraction. But intelligent people see solitude differently. To them, loneliness isn't emptiness, it's a tool. It's the place where the mind sharpens, where perception deepens, where thought becomes dangerous to the unprepared. They retreat from the crowd not to escape life, but to understand it. Solitude gives them clarity others can't achieve in the chaos of constant social interaction. In psychology, this is called metacognition, the ability to observe your own mind, to trace your thoughts and motives with precision. While others fill the void with hatter, intelligent people, fill it with insight. They learn about the world by first learning about themselves. Loneliness, for them, is fertile ground. Every quiet hour becomes an opportunity to refine thought, to experiment mentally, to explore ideas that seem impossible in the noisy world. They think in layers, in connections invisible to the distracted mind. While the average person fears being alone with their thoughts, the smart mind thrives there. The mind sharpens in the absence of distraction. Solitude becomes strategy. It also grants them independence. When you're comfortable alone, you stop needing approval. You stop being manipulated by social pressure, by trends, by opinions that carry no weight. The intelligent know that influence often comes from dependence. By mastering solitude, they free themselves. They make decisions based on logic and observation, not fear of judgment. They become untouchable in ways others never notice. Solitude also teaches patience, the kind that the restless rarely understand. The quiet mind waits, watches, and absorbs. It's the space where patterns reveal themselves, where cause and effect become clear, where intuition sharpens. And in this emptiness, they cultivate resilience. They face themselves, their fears, weaknesses, and desires without denial. Most people never truly see themselves because they run from the uncomfortable reflection of their own minds. Intelligent people do not. They stare. Being alone is not lonely when the mind is active. They use isolation to experiment with life, with decisions, with strategy. They rehearse conversations, anticipate reactions, and explore outcomes before they even occur. Solitude allows them to plan, predict, and act with precision. It is the secret laboratory of the mind, and few ever enter it willingly. Psychologically, this ability transforms them. Where others see emptiness, they see opportunity. Where others feel void, they feel control. Loneliness becomes a source of power because it trains the mind to operate independently of external chaos. They learn to think without echo, to feel without reaction, to act without prompting. And in that silence, they become unpredictable. Others can't sway them. Others can't read them. They've built an inner fortress. Emotional manipulation, peer pressure, societal expectation, they bounce off. The intelligent move like shadows in plain sight, invisible because they answer to no one but their own mind. Solitude is their forge. Pain, reflection, and patience are the flames that shape them. Each moment alone deepens insight, sharpens instinct, and heightens perception. They do not fear loneliness, they embrace it. They do not run from silence, they wield it. Because where most see emptiness, they see power. And power is quiet. The smartest minds don't follow. They watch, they wait, they know. Silence, detachment, curiosity, solitude. They don't just shape thought, they shape power, and power waits for no one.